It's time to hack the movies. Today, we're talking about tapes.
Ho, 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 viewers. Welcome.
Oh, ho, ho.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah.
From
Ho,
Hack
ho,
the Movies.
ho.
Hacky holidays. How about
Happy
that?
holidays.
How about
I
that?
like it. Oh,
Welcome.
awesome.
I mean, we're doing a bunch of
My mom's trying to FaceTime me. I'm sorry that my parents love me.
Jealous.
all right, cut back to the ginger snaps. All right. This is a very special holiday episode. We've done some Christmas and even a Hanukkah movie this year, but this
Yeah.
is a very special one.
This is.
And I'll get to that in a minute. I'm just guys, I'm a little sad during the holidays. And I'm especially sad during this holiday.
Yeah, you're pretty lonely.
Yeah, you know what makes me feel lonely? When I realize that subscriber growth is not as good as it used to be a few months ago. And, you know, I just, when you watch this show, make sure to subscribe. Because the more subscribers I get, the more famous I feel and the more happy I am. And you want me to be happy, right? So please subscribe. If you're watching this right now, hit that subscribe button. Because I'd like the subscriber growth to go back up because that made me happy and famous. You're supposed to agree with me. Like, yes, everyone should subscribe.
Oh, people should subscribe, but not for you to be happy.
No.
Anyway, man, what a year. What a year.
It's been a year.
It's been a
It's
year.
been a year.
So, like, obviously nothing topped last year because that was just a hot mess. But, like, I thought things would be a little bit better. And while they were, there was still some rides this year.
So, last year, that was my first episode on Hack the Movies, was the Addams Family Values.
Yes.
That was my first, that was the only one I did during 2020.
Right.
Ghostbusters Afterlife, I did the view because I wanted to know how many movies I actually liked versus disliked.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters Afterlife was my 30th episode.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I've actually liked, I think, what was it? 18 or 19 movies. It was 18 movies that I liked, 12 movies that I didn't like.
I have no
So
idea
I'd
how
like
many
more.
episodes I've been in.
I don't even know.
I want to
Tony's been
find
in too
out now.
many.
Yeah. I mean, how many episodes
So-
has there been in general? Because you've been in all of them but one.
Oh, at this point, if we combine the two shows, even though they're basically the same show, it's like at this point we put out our 106th at the time
Really?
of this filming.
Wow.
When was our 100th episode?
What was our 100th?
So in 2021.
100th?
Yeah.
Would have been, again, when you combine, I don't know how
What are
many
you
just talking about
combining?
tapes or Hack the Movie Show there are, but when
Oh.
you combine them, I think Good Reboots might have been the 100th,
Really?
if I remember right. Yeah.
Huh.
Which you guys were in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We rebooted
Yeah,
our
we
celebrity
rebooted.
guests
Yeah.
with you two.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Ghost Ship was my first episode, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
AKA your favorite episode.
yeah, I love Ghost Ship.
So yes, it was a kind of a crazy year, but a very
Finn.
very exciting year because January subscribers just like shot up
That was awesome.
because people who watch rental reviews realized, oh wow, there's this new original show playing that reminds me of that old show, and they all came over.
The rental reviews.
And yeah, we went up. God, what were we at the beginning of the year? As of now, we're at like 42,000 subs,
At least, yeah.
coming on 43,000.
Which is awesome.
But again, subscriber growth has slowed down. So please subscribe if you're watching.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
it makes me actually get here. Like, there are more episodes, and I could be in more episodes, and then all of a sudden I'm here more, and let's make that happen.
And if you want an incentive, the more subscribers, I'll put Johanna in less episodes. And we.
Wow.
What are you looking for? Are you doing the math?
I'm counting how many episodes I've been in.
Oh my
I'm
God.
on 15 right now.
I lost count when I did it so many times I had to restart it. Because you also can't go by, like, thumbnail either. So I was at first, I was like, thumbnail, and I was like,
Well, as we're saying this, I really.
but I also didn't count, like, the little cameo parts, like the jaws.
Yeah.
I didn't count that.
But yeah, I want to say that I appreciate the fans.
Oh my God.
And I want to say that I love the fans. And I want to say that
22.
22 episodes. Nice.
22.
Really?
And I want to say
That's
that,
more.
like, you know, they inspired me to be a better person, but I'm not going to say any of those things because I deserve all the fame and recognition that I get
So are you trying to say you became a better person within this year?
No, I'm just saying, like, I deserved all this attention that I got. I worked really hard for it. And I want to say good job for showing up to the episodes. I appreciate it.
You're a monster.
He's the worst.
2021 was a fun year, wasn't it?
So many ups and downs.
Oh, yeah, there were.
Many.
You know what,
I am,
Crystal?
like, seasick.
Crystal, there were a couple downs. I'll agree.
Make me Crystal.
Oh,
Switch it up for once.
there you go. Now you're
Oh,
Crystal.
thank-
No,
it-
it's going back to me.
Well, you know what? That's an example. One of the things I love.
I
About
love it. You guys are, I'm not going to lie, you guys are absolutely so goddamn phenomenal. And you guys blow my mind every time we go into like the chat. There's so much damn support.
Yeah,
And
I mean, it
people
doesn't.
so amazing.
Like it doesn't blow my mind because they're doing what they should do, and honestly, they could be doing a little bit better. But I appreciate what they're doing.
Anyway, I can't believe people sometimes want my autograph. Like,
It's fucking
I'm just standing
weird.
there like, no, you too. And I'm like, oh, me?
It's weird.
My
It's
favorite
so weird.
autograph I have. We have this wall of autographs from like famous people, some dead, some still alive. But my favorite is the fan who sent in. He was in the same scene as me, so see, he signed.
I didn't know
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, he signed Dark Knight Rises for me, and he sent it to me.
was that?
That's really
is
funny.
I can't make out the name. It's in one of the mail.
You got all right. You have to tell me who you are because you're now a new hero.
Go
That's
back and watch
amazing.
one of the last few mailbags that we opened. It was one of the
That's
last few that
really
we did.
funny.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
He has a very nice signature.
he really does.
That's a very nice
famous
signature.
signature.
And you know what I will say, like, you know, it was fun, like, now that, like, well, lockdown kind of slowed down and, you know, they lifted some restrictions. Trying to stop. I know what you're going to say, but stop. We don't want to divide our fans. It was nice seeing you guys at conventions. It was really nice.
It is so heartwarming when I'm just like, wait, you watched the show?
Shout out
so
to
weird.
Shout out to the fan who stood under a tent with us as the fucking storm of the century blew in.
Awesome. Yeah. literally.
Shout out to you. You did a great job.
Yeah. Shout out to
But yeah,
all of you
VHS
guys.
Fest was fun. That was fun. Retro World Expo was
Joe Bob
fun.
Jamboree was fun. All of it.
Astronomicon.
The Astronomicon was fun. I mean, we did have the
many
worst
games.
panel of all time at Retro World. But yes, Too Many Games was a lot of fun. Too Many Games was a lot of fun. And we,
Yeah.
Wish I had a microphone during our panel.
yeah.
That would have been
I
nice.
like how I got FaceTime for 30 seconds and then just laughed.
Yeah,
And then you're like,
retro-
Johanna, you're just like,
Yeah, because you're
not
texting me, you're like,
worth
I
it.
want, yeah, you literally were like, I want to know what's going on. And I'm just like,
Someone
bye.
thought it was a good idea to do a combination Cinemassacre but minus James Hack the Movies panel.
Dumb idea.
So all the questions were for
Why?
Cinemassacre.
Why? Of course.
And
it
all the
is.
questions were for James, who was not there.
What does James smell like?
Yeah. But no, I really
That wasn't actually a question. That was
really
I
like-
would have actually believed
could have
that
been.
one.
I really like all the support of the show that you guys do. The Patreon really blew up.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Remember, when you subscribe to Patreon, you make Justin's life miserable because he told me that it wasn't
did.
worth it and a waste of time.
Please subscribe.
And then it made over $1,000 a month, and it still does that.
It's-
And slowing down.
It's only like what, $5?
Yes, but you can get a discount if you do the annual subscription.
I didn't know that and I already signed up.
You can modify it to an annual subscription.
I probably should.
What's the annual?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I think for the $2 tier, it's around like 20 something a year, and then for $5, around like 50 something a year.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
But anyway, yeah. So this is
we?
like a thank you episode to the fans.
Yes.
Thank you
And
guys. Seriously.
one of the reasons we're thanking you is we did a poll, and a friend of ours, a coworker who is not a public figure, suggested a poll to me. Her and her alone. Some people claim that they gave me the idea, but I do not recall these happening. But yes,
No one else said,
He also-
hey, listen, I know a few podcasts where on their Patreon, they get to pick what the viewer or the Patreon episode of the month is. I think that would be an awesome idea for our Patreon.
I mean, he also was
But I
like,
wonder who that
"Oh,
was."
you guys don't give me stuff for the Patreon anyway. Like, I have nothing to show for it." And like, I gave you all this footage for Disney. Like, we filmed our thing. We were making the mulled
Yeah.
wine.
I'm
like,
sorry. I'm sorry. Christina, was it? I'm trying to say something here. I really appreciate if you
a
don't.
Christmas one instead of mulled wine. Can you just stop it? Oh,
Make hot
yeah.
toddies. It's whiskey.
For a second there, I went to hot
Listen,
titties.
listen,
My
listen,
head-
listen,
Let's make hot titties.
Hot titty toddies.
listen.
We'll just go sit in a hot tub and we'll make hot titties.
down for that.
I'm trying to talk, and I don't appreciate you interrupting me when I talk.
So anyway, hot titties.
Crystal, how would you feel if I interrupted you while talking?
I would have no idea how that felt for most of 2021. No
Or
idea.
majority of my life. Fine.
But yes, oh wait, before we move on, some big stuff happened other than the channel. You got engaged.
Yes, I did. I got engaged this
Sorry
year.
guys, she's not on the market anymore. Well, we'll see. I don't think I
Get the hell out of here.
Yes, you got engaged. You're very happy, and
Yes. I have a nice house.
and I
adorable kitty cat.
I went through a breakup, and that's why you haven't seen any pictures of Raid Shadow Legend the cat in a few months.
Oh,
Oops.
I didn't know that for the divorce it went towards the cat. What's her?
Yeah, I lost in the breakup. That's fine.
Oh,
But if anyone was wondering, but
I'm more upset about his breakup than he is, honestly.
I am too. Can we?
But anyway, you guys being awesome is what helped me get through that period. Yeah, so we did a poll. Getting back to that, we did a poll that our coworker, I don't want to name her because she's not a public figure. So I thought, like, what's the most generic white girl name?
Don't do it.
And let's just call her Rachel Dolezal.
Don't do
So
it.
Rachel Dolezal gave us this idea to do a poll. So we put a bunch of Christmas movies on Patreon. We had the patrons vote on it, and it did really well. I actually want to do more polls in the future.
And one by one, I kind of regret not joining the Patreon just to be like, ha ha,
Okay,
now it's time
so-
again.
Christmas vacation.
So we almost got into a pickle. Christmas Vacation beat Home Alone by one vote. I forgot to vote, and I was going to vote Home Alone, and if I had done that, it would have been a tie.
I was going to vote for Home Alone.
and I was going to be like, oh, we're flipping a coin. I don't know which one to do.
I'm happy. Home
So
Alone.
obviously we should have just done the Muppet Christmas Carol, which is right here.
yeah,
That one's votes weren't as high.
It was still pretty high.
Yeah.
It's my favorite Christmas movie.
Well, the reason I even did this was because the one Christmas movie I wanted to do, the guest stopped DMing me. But hopefully next year, better answer your DMs. So yes, we will be covering Christmas Vacation for you, the fans, in this fan celebration holiday episode. I even put our Screenwave
We're so
Christmas tree
festive.
up.
That
Yes.
is quite an angel.
There's no balls or anything on it. Like,
because there's no balls here.
How do we get all those manscaped ads?
for Ian.
Oh, that's another thing. I want to thank the people who matter most to me, all of our sponsors, and I would like to encourage them to keep sponsoring us. And any new sponsors, you also mean the most to me, even if you haven't sponsored the show yet, but I am open to talks. It's like my sponsors, family, friends.
like your family?
Yeah, friends, acquaintances, actually enemies, acquaintances.
I'm not your enemy? Damn.
I thought Hack the Movies would be first because of you.
Yeah, and that's
Yourself.
it.
Why is it yourself?
And then Crystal. Okay. So Christmas Vacation. We are now in the review section. That was our shill section. We are in the review
All
section.
right.
Christmas Vacation. I assume we've all seen this 6 million times.
Yes.
I would say 7 million.
And I still love it.
It's so good.
I'm not like, okay, we know some people who went on other shows and they said that the movie is overrated. And it's just a series of skits tied together, and they're so tired of watching it. And look, big shock, but Justin Silverman doesn't like Christmas Vacation.
Justin Silverman doesn't like Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
Silverman. Wow. Biased much? Anyway, I love Christmas Vacation. I've been watching this since I was like a really young. I like all the vacation movies. What about you guys?
Yeah.
I surprisingly like Vegas.
I was going to say, I like Vegas
actually,
too.
So I actually
People shit on Vegas. I enjoy Vegas
like-
too.
yeah.
So I did some research.
Yeah.
Vegas was the least popular one, made the least amount. It was actually budgeted for $25 million, and it did make its money, but I think only 35 million it made. But all the other ones, I looked it up. Vacation, the original in 1983, it was budgeted for 15 million, and it grossed 61,399,552. Euro was actually the least favorite, but
Really?
it did gross more than Vegas. It was budgeted at $17 million and it grossed $49,364,621. I like to say the full number because it makes me feel smart. But no one knew the Christmas Vacation was going to be so high because usually trilogies, the third never really does so well, even though like Halloween 3 probably should have did way better than it did.
Well, sometimes it does really well, like the best third movie, Dark Knight Rises, starring me, Tony from Hack the Movies.
Who are you?
Keep talking.
So Christmas Vacation, 1989, it was budgeted for 20.
We were born then.
We were.
I wasn't.
Wait, when was this made? 1989. So it
came out in 1989.
So it would be its 32nd anniversary then.
I guess so, around that time, yeah.
So the Christmas one, which had the highest budget at $27 million, and it actually grossed $73,500,000.
Yeah, this is the most popular one.
It is the most popular, and everyone's actually shocked at that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because it's Christmas.
Yes. And then
it became a classic.
So I liked every vacation movie except for Christmas Vacation 2, Cousin Eddie's Island Adventure.
Yeah.
No, that sucks.
In 2003, it came out. It was supposed to be like not a real thing, and eventually they actually made it.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
And I still haven't seen it, but the 2015 reboot I actually hear is really funny.
I haven't seen it.
Because it's like, it's Russ grown up, and Jason Sudeikis played.
Yeah, it's actually funny. Because they recreate a lot of the scenes, but they do it so well. And
I like the trailer. He's like, I'm going to redo my family's vacation.
World.
They're like, we never even heard about the original family vacation. So they're making fun of that they're a remake.
It's really funny.
Yeah, I wanted to see it. I heard it was really funny. I just never got around to it.
It's actually good. I don't like it better than the others.
Oh, no, I probably won't either.
It was a nice little tribute. But would you say these vacation movies is the best of the Lampoons? The National Lampoons?
What else is there? There's obviously the Ryan Reynolds one. Shit.
Oh.
Okay. Well, obviously Van Wilder
Wow.
Obviously Van Wilder Rise of Taj is the best. I think we can all agree that's the best National Lampoon movie. No, I don't know. What is Animal House one of them?
I want to go back to forgetting.
Well, I guess I got to thank Animal House because now that
I think is that the first National Lampoon movie?
I can't remember.
I think Animal House might be the first National Lampoon movie.
Double check. But that gave us John Belushi, who people say I look like, and yeah.
You wish.
You're the only person who apparently doesn't think that. Everyone else does.
They stopped making, I think, National Lampoon movies in like 2006.
Well, a lot of them were like direct-to-video trash.
A lot of them were direct-to-video.
This was like their biggest thing.
This is like because that's what you hear. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
That's what you hear at most.
I don't remember the first time I've seen this because it's just one of those things.
I have no idea.
It's just been in my life for so long. Yeah. Because it came out like right before we were born. So, well, you're like, you're a spinster. So
well, this came out in 1989 and this was Christmas time.
Yeah.
It came out after I was born. And it also means after
you were born in
too.
1979. So you were 10 years old.
You were born in like 1932.
Shut up. This is the first feature film of Jeremiah Chechik. He also directed Benny and June, the Johnny Depp movie, and the 98 remake of the British show The Avengers with Uma Thurman and Ray Fiennes, and then he has only done TV since then.
He's done like a lot of.
He's done a lot of TV. I'll give him that.
But he's done a lot of like 3 episodes here, 3 episodes here, 3. But his before this was only 2 music videos.
Yeah,
it was very odd that they.
I mean, he kind of knocked it. This is now a legendary movie that he probably makes a shit ton on residuals. So
I'm sure he does.
He really knocked it out of the park.
There's still shit being sold. Like this is so. Remember how we had a conversation about like. In Hot Topic, you were there with me in Hot Topic or Spencer's or Spirit Halloween. There's like certain like movies where like they're like the face of Halloween. So it's like Trick or Treat. Oh, yeah. Now it's Beetlejuice, Hocus Pocus, Nightmare Before Christmas, blah, blah, blah. This is the Christmas movie. I went into Target and they have the front, like the cover of this movie as a light that you can just hang outside.
It's great. Because it's
it's
family, but it's also adult. It's good for everyone, and it has those dirty adult humor, but it's still good for the kids where you don't get that often.
And it is a comedy. We can all agree that this is a comedy, right? It says it on the box, comedy. Because, we've mentioned other comedies in the past, and our commenters felt the need to tell us that they were not comedies.
You'll crack up.
Yeah.
So do you know? So it's so weird that Home Alone almost won because the director, Christopher Columbus, was actually supposed to direct Christmas Vacation, did 2 movies with Chevy Chase, and said, fuck that dude.
Chevy Chase is notoriously hard to work with.
Yeah, so he refused to do that. Instead, he did Home Alone. So instead, we got this guy who's like, I don't know. Let's.
Why not? Why not? Chris
have-
Columbus did your Harry Potter movie.
Yes, he did.
He did.
I do have to agree with Justin on the fact of that it is a bunch of skits.
It is.
But it does have a loose story, still keeping it together so it still flows nice or whatever. But also unlike
Justin just likes to yuck other people's yum.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Also, unlike Ghostbusters 2016, I'm pretty sure there's a shit ton of improv in here. It worked for this.
And that's the thing. Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Because it's also Chevy Chase, who is fantastic at improv, SNL, like all his skits. He's very talented. He might be very difficult to work with, but as an actor in improv,
he's a really good actor.
He's fantastic.
So let's get into the movie.
Sweet.
We have a fun animated sequence in the beginning of Santa getting into shenanigans. I don't remember the other ones having animated openings. I don't think they did. I think it's just this.
No, I think it's just
No,
this.
yeah.
And I remember putting this on like when I was a kid, like because a lot of times it would play on TV, but I didn't like really own it till years later. And I think my aunt had actually one of these might be my copy of my aunt's tape. I remember putting it on and seeing the cartoon and being like, wait, I don't remember this having a cartoon. I was like real confused by it.
I don't think I actually fully saw the movie all the way through until like maybe like a few years ago because I just always remember as a kid it was just on.
Yeah.
So you've probably seen it all the way through, but in different
Yeah.
segments.
It's like the Christmas story that's always on, and you're like, oh, we're at the lamp scene, we're at the pole scene.
So we meet the Griswolds. They are on a trip to get their family Christmas tree because Clark is all about the family Christmas. He's gonna have a good old fashioned family Christmas.
It just sets up that first scene really does set up the entire movie, and then just iconic being in a car traveling. It just sets up the movie to where you're like.
And as is tradition in these movies, a lot of times they recast the kids.
Yep.
I don't think Russ has ever been played by the same person twice. Audrey's been played by the same person a few times.
Russ hasn't.
Actually, I think the Audrey from the first movie came back for Cousin Eddie's Island Adventure. But Audrey is played by Juliette Lewis, and Russ is now played by Johnny Galecki.
Which is so weird to see that. I didn't realize that.
Seeing him as a child?
Seeing him as a child, because then I was like, no, that's not him. And then when you go back and you're watching, you're like, that is that face. That's that face.
So, it starts off with Clark trying to one-up some asshole trucker.
Yep.
And he gets a little cat.
You guys, look, a tree.
Hey kids, look, a deer.
As is often with Clark, he gets a little carried away and he ends up underneath a goddamn truck hauling lumber. I like when he gets out of it and there's like a fucking snow thing and he's like, oh God, and he goes back in. But
they still managed to get into the parking lot. Of the tree.
So they crash into the parking lot of a tree lot.
And they go to cut down a tree.
And then they go into the woods to find a tree because he's insane.
Yeah. There are places like that though. Like I did it with Ian's mom and sister a little while back. And by a while back I mean like 2 years. You can either pick out a tree they already have cut down, or you can actually go and like cut one yourself. And you have to bring like your own saw. You have to rent one.
It's just
kind of wild.
Just get a fake tree.
That's what I was gonna say. Do you guys have real trees or fake trees?
So I used to have fake trees growing up because my brother had really bad asthma, and then eventually he was like fine. But like I like tree. Like I like the real trees. I like the smell.
I do too, but the hassle, the pine.
See, I don't have that issue. Like I hear it's like falling apart and it's like everywhere. Like
you're not
Carson doesn't ruin it. Like it's great.
Well, that's nice. You're not supposed to suck that up with the vacuum because it can ruin the vacuum. Apparently,
yeah. Because it's like pointy and
exactly. Yeah. I love the smell of a real one, but instead now I have a fake one. It's easier. It actually is one of those that you put together and already has the lights, just like that. It's actually pretty much almost the same exact, but bigger.
Oh, that's my favorite thing though, to put the lights around myself. If I hit this one,
I also hate Christmas. So there's that as well. So I try all the time to get into the spirit.
So here's my thing. I fucking hate real trees. And my
Why?
mom was obsessed with always getting a goddamn fake tree. And then we got to go out to the lot. And then it's like, oh, no, that one's not nice. Oh, that one's not nice. Oh, we got to get
So
this
she was
one.
obsessed with getting a real tree.
Yes,
Yeah,
a
you
real
said
tree.
fake.
You said
Oh,
fake.
shit. Sorry. No, real tree.
wanna try that
Fuck
again?
real trees. I'm going to burn down the rainforest. Which doesn't have
Wow.
Christmas trees.
No.
What are you, pro NFTs?
But yeah, I am.
Well, just buy them. You burn down the rainforest.
Oh, wow.
So fuck them, because then you gotta wrap it up, and then you gotta put it in your car where there's tons of sap, and it just sticks there forever. And then you
I've
gotta,
never had this issue.
and then at
Because
my
you
old
put something
house,
underneath of it, so it also
Yeah.
doesn't scratch your car.
and then you gotta bring it in,
And you
up
also
the
put it in
stairs.
backwards because it's also wrapped.
it's also fully wrapped. Yeah,
Then you gotta
put
bring it
through
up
the-
or down the stairs, and then you gotta fight over how you're carrying it. And it's like, oh no, you gotta do this, you
so
gotta do this.
basically, it's his family's problem, and
Yes.
that is why
I
things are
can't
the way they are
stand
now.
it. And then you get the sap everywhere, which comes up
I'm okay
later.
with that.
Sometimes you get bugs in it. I've gotten spiders.
You're
in
supposed to
trees.
leave it out for a little bit to make
Yeah.
sure shit gets out.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. It was never my fault. I don't ever want a real tree. And then you
I
got
love
to throw
this-
it away. And then it's like, then I feel bad. I'm like, oh, I
that
killed this
do.
thing.
That I do feel bad. There's a place that actually takes.
Yeah, I
old
recycle
Christmas.
it.
Yeah,
I
you can
recycle
your
it. The same
Christmas
with my
trees.
pumpkins. I donate it to a farm.
Yes.
You
so
can give me your pumpkins. I can feed them to my chickens.
I already
God
gave
damn
them
it.
away. Let me know next year. 'cause
Yeah,
I
no, my
have,
family gives me all their
I will
pumpkins
because I have
they're just
squash and shit. I can give you everything.
they'll like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So
Plus I get
yeah, I hate them.
pumpkin seeds.
And they're heavy. And sometimes the tree falls over, which causes my mom to scream and bitch at like 5 a.m.
Maybe you should put it up correctly.
Yeah. So every time I've moved out and lived on my own, you know what kind of tree I get?
None.
Fucking none. Fucking none. I never have a tree when I live alone. I will never have a tree. I can convince certain people this year to not have trees because I don't feel like dealing with trees. I don't feel like cleaning them. I don't feel like keeping the cats away from them. Like I don't want a real tree.
So I thought I hated Christmas, and I do hate Christmas for personal reasons. But you're full. At least I try to
Look. I
you are
love.
Scrooge.
I love.
Tony, forgive your parents.
Yeah,
No,
you
no,
should
no.
probably forgive your parents
Here's
for
the thing with
Christmas.
Forgive the
Christmas.
trees.
For the trees.
I love the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, which is the true meaning of Christmas. By the way, fuck everyone who says Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. If we're gonna be serious about
Die
what
Hard
is and isn't a Christmas movie,
Hard.
if it's not about the nativity or the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, it is not a Christmas movie.
Or we could talk about how
Nope, not a Christmas movie.
But it has angels and shit in it.
Not a Christmas movie.
how's it a
Anyway,
Christmas movie.
And they say, no, there's religion stuff in here.
Why
anyway.
is it always there's also ugh. All right,
God
I'm not gonna
bless
go
us,
into religion
everyone.
aspects And
Point
all of
is-
the pagan traditions of
Trees?
Christmas, and I will go into that shit with you.
Point is, trees suck.
Point
Trees are
is-
fantastic.
trees suck.
I love trees.
I like trees in the wild where they're not near me. I don't want trees near me.
Yeah, could we push that closer to him?
Angel off.
Yeah, mister, I'm so religious, Lord and Savior, but you're gonna fucking kill an angel.
Anyway, they find the you put it right fucking. They find the perfect tree, but Clark forgot us all. I love the reveal. It's because it hits you twice. Because one, the tree is too big and it's covering the front of the car, and that's really funny. And as the camera zooms out, you see that they dug it up out of the ground by the roots.
So here's my thing. They would have been better off hacking at the bottom with the shovel
Yeah.
than actually digging it up by the roots.
And that's what's nice because it sets it up to this is not a
Yeah,
realistic
this is
movie.
ridiculous.
This is a ridiculous movie that's meant to make you laugh.
And you fucking the last movie ends with them messing up a plane and knocking over the Statue of Liberty. You're not expecting a real world when you go to this.
It's National Lampoon's. You can't.
Yes. So they get home, and Clark is dressed up like Lord Humongous. He has the Lord Humongous hockey mask. You know, the one from the cover of Friday the 13th, Part 5. But Julia Louis-Dreyfus and her boyfriend are in this. And I remember as a kid, I'm like, this is the first thing I saw her in other than Seinfeld.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what the second thing was that I saw her in that wasn't Seinfeld?
No.
Soul Man.
Huh.
Do you remember Soul Man? It's a movie about a white guy who makes himself black for some reason. I forget the reason, but it's so clearly just a white guy colored. It's hard. Like every actor in that movie desperately wants people to forget that they were in that movie.
Nice to meet you, Kareem. Is he a Muslim?
They should remake it.
Absolutely not.
No,
Absolutely
thank you.
not.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in this. And they're like the snotty neighbors. They make fun of the Christmas tree. He tells them to bend over. And he's like,
Her to bend over.
yeah, he's
not
like,
him.
how dare you say that to me? He's like, I was saying it to her. It's like, oh.
No, he said I wasn't talking to you.
Yeah. But I like when he puts it in the living room and it just fills up the entire fucking living room. It just
the
explodes the living room.
That's fantastic.
And then this is like such a subtle one where like the next scene he's flipping through the magazine and the sap.
Yeah,
Like, and it gets
stuck to the pages.
it like gets more ridiculous as it's going on, but he's talking about how like she doesn't want to invite all the family members over.
Yeah.
Relatable. It's been a couple Christmas parties where people got into fights. So yeah, she's like, yeah, you kind of overplanned things, and I thought she was going to reference the other movies, but she just says other
There's
things.
little references in this movie to that. Like
Yeah.
they have like the Wally World mugs. They have
Yes, the
I
moose
think there's
mug,
a
yeah.
card, like a Mother's Day card or something like that on the fridge or something. There's something with a card, a Mother's
Oh,
card.
okay.
He, because he hid the present in the attic and he just found it.
Yeah,
But it says
there's
1983, which is the first movie, so yeah, I got to look into that
actually,
then.
there's that. There's
Yeah.
actually quite a few references, which is great. There's
Yeah,
little
so-
Easter eggs.
So I like that they're talking about that, and she's like listing all the things that he messes up, but he goes down the conversation, but the sap is like on her hair, and he's attached to the lamp.
So-
And she keeps talking.
He has a People's magazine. The
Yeah.
person on the front of it is the director.
Oh, that's funny. That's
and,
funny.
He actually kept the pajamas as well.
It's like
'Cause in
weird
the- in the-
dinosaur
in the-
Dinosaurs.
Because he actually said in an interview, he actually said he kept them and never washed them.
Let me see here. So he is worried. Well, he is hoping for his bonus check, his
Yes.
Christmas bonus check, because he's already put money on a pool that he wants to install into the.
They have a huge house, by the way.
They really
Ew.
do. They really do. But yeah, he
The
wants.
house is the same house though that's in WandaVision, FYI.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, it's the same house.
Oh.
Same house.
Like Wanda's house?
Yeah.
Definitely not the interior, but the exterior. Really?
Because
Huh.
it's on. I think it's in one of the lots. Whatever.
That would make
studio it
sense, yeah.
is.
I had to check that out.
Same house.
Yeah, so he's planning on getting a pool. He's talking to that actor. I forgot to look up who that actor was, but even Sean was just like, that's like one of those that guy actors. They've been in a bunch of stuff. But yeah, so he's already put a deposit on it, which probably shouldn't have done. Then we meet his boss, Brian Doyle Murray, Bill Murray's brother.
Yes.
Fucking, he like, I'm wondering if The Simpsons got the whole idea for Mr. Burns for getting Homer's name from this. Because that's the whole thing. He gets Clark and the other guy's name mixed up, and then he just keeps calling him Bill.
Yeah.
But he's like, give me this summary of the thing, and I have it on my desk or whatever. And he's like, I love when he goes, thanks for the Christmas card. You can tell he has no idea he sent one.
Yeah, and then the dude next to
Corporate card.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we get the thank you. Merry Christmas, kiss my ass, kiss his ass.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Kiss my ass. Kiss his ass. Kiss your ass. Happy Hanukkah.
Let me see. Next, Clark is at a store, and he's real horny for the girl behind the counter.
Who shows up later in the movie?
Yes, Johanna did not approve of his flirting.
Because he was being gross.
But he was doing it in such an awkward way.
Is it because he doesn't appreciate the sanctity of marriage?
Yes. You know, now that I am engaged,
Yes.
I regret my
'cause-
comments in Jennifer's body.
Yes.
You can watch.
People are
you can
pissed
watch
at
this
that.
episode now. Whoever said that they were never watching because they were super mad about that,
Because she didn't care about Megan Fox being faithful to her loving husband.
but she didn't even cheat on him
Oh, well, who said that? Her? Anyway.
and him.
Now, no. She told me, guys. Yeah, okay.
That's
but yeah,
not what
I
he said at all.
but
They
I
were
do like
broken
that he
up,
says,
and
like-
then the thing started.
He says like his wife is dead. He's like making up stuff because he's like too horny for the girl. The girl's cute, but I don't know if I'd like.
the wife's hotter.
Yeah, I don't
Sorry.
think my brain would shut down over that girl.
I personally think the wife is way hotter. But I mean, the pool scene with her is pretty hot.
No, she's definitely gorgeous, but I don't think that would be like, I'm like, oh, that's a pretty girl, but I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't like.
I think he's just like an automatic.
Look, it wouldn't be like when I met
Awkward
Gianna
guy.
Michaels, okay? Then my brain turned off. I'm like, hi, here's $100. Hi. Oh, God, that was the happiest day of my life. Never relive that. Anyway, the family finally arrives to the house, which... God, that looks terrible. The family. Okay, Clark's dad is John Randolph.
Yes.
Do you know who he is?
Yes.
Who?
He's what's his face? He. Don't put me on the fucking spot. Now
I can
my
do
brain
this.
stops.
No, because I told you. So I actually have.
I looked up every single person in this movie. Like re-go.
I have a video of this on my channel. It's like on the channel. It's like an older video. A lot of people don't even know this because they reshot the episode with Jerry Stiller. And they don't play it in syndication unless you have the DVDs. John Randolph is the original Frank Costanza from Seinfeld.
What else did he do though?
Oh, he was in a ton of shit.
Yeah.
He was in a ton of shit, but that's how I know him.
Oh, gotcha.
He was the original Frank Costanza. They only ever shot one episode with him. And then when they didn't want him back, they got Jerry Stiller. And then they went back and they reshot those scenes with Jerry Stiller. So in syndication, that's why like there's episodes where Jerry's dad was played by someone else. But by the time they came up with the idea to reshoot stuff, too much time had passed. But with Jerry Stiller, it wasn't that much time. So yeah, John Randolph is the original Frank Costanza. The wife is Diane Ladd from Carnosaur. It's also Laura Dern's mom. She plays Laura Dern's mom in Blue Velvet, I think. Ellen's mom is the grandmom from Grandma's Boy. And her dad was the president in Superman 2. And I'm sure
I
they
like
have...
how these are the like what thing you know these people from.
Yes. I'm sure they have names. But it's the
my
president from
God.
Superman 2 and the grandma from Grandma's Boy. Clark tries to hang some lights and he does a terrible job. My family is so they want to do the hanging of the lights. I'm like, fuck the hanging of the lights.
That's what I do. I do the hanging of the lights.
I hang up my lights.
Yeah. I want to.
I don't put them all up on like the house like they
I
do,
do.
but I like to do like outside on the porch, like the top part or whatever. I like to surround that, and I like to do the bushes.
If my house wasn't so steep, because I can't climb up it. It's too steep of a roof. Because I tried it so many times and I don't have the right ladder. I love putting lights up. That's usually what I do. I'm the one that puts up the lights. I'm the one that goes
Do you
on
like
the
to use the
ladders.
colored lights or do you like the white lights?
I mixed because sometimes I like the lights, but I was able to somewhat program it right. So it was like a cool, flashy design.
Okay.
I want to one day, when I have enough knowledge of how to do this and enough money to do it, is have the music and the lights line up.
That would be dope.
Because that's my thing, like tech and
Oh, that'd be
that
dope.
theatrical. I love the word
That would
dope.
slap so hard.
I like the word dope.
I'm gonna dab
You're a
now?
dope.
Like, what the fuck?
Dope is like an older word. But
I'm-
yeah, I've been wanting to do that so bad because like that's kind of like my thing. Like I love my thing.
thing.
Yeah.
We're hipping with it.
Yeah.
Wiggity
This
whack.
episode is off the chain. Oh,
We are
God.
cool.
Off the chain.
Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the lights.
Make sure you subscribe.
I like the more classic. Like I like the white lights with the green wreaths and the red
I like
bows and
those.
stuff like that.
I like these.
I can't.
I like my LED lights.
What can I say? What I can't stand
But
is when you use the different colors, but then there's another patch of different colors, but it's not the same type of light. I don't, please. Or if you mix the white lights and then there's the colors, the different color lights and stuff like that, don't mix it. Don't mix it. Please, my OCD is going enough. If you can, or when you have like the classic white lights that aren't LEDs and then you have the LED white lights, those are two different temperatures.
yeah.
Please, if you're doing lights, make sure they're all the same fucking lights.
Let them match.
and
Match.
and no wire hangers is what Crystal.
Wire hangers.
bothers me so much.
So
in the design aspect.
during this scene is when he's like stumbling with the ladder, and I think he like rips off the gutter, which shoots a thing of ice into Joey Louis Dreyfus's
Yeah,
house.
stapled his.
Yeah.
Also, why I don't know. I guess maybe that's what you did like in the 80s or whatever, stapling the lights.
Yeah.
Could you imagine taking that shit down later? Though it did remind me of the the scene in the Jim Carrey Grinch when she has the fucking gun.
The machine gun.
Yeah.
What is that? Yeah.
The nail gun.
But wait, you never hung things up with like a staple gun? That's what
I
I
always
did
had hooks.
growing up. We did staple gun everything, and the way you take it down is you just take it and go.
I'd be so scared I'd rip the wire.
No, I mean we didn't care, but everything like
Yeah.
Halloween, Christmas. My family, like that's how we got along when we decorated because we all were kind of pretty much creative and we love having fun with that kind of stuff. We staple gunned everything. They like yard sales, staple gun signs everywhere. I had a staple gun probably pretty much coming out the womb.
I got to staple gun my ex once.
Not me.
Not you.
I'm just making that-
right here, and I'm like, you broke my heart. Sure. Click. So. Hey, he said it was fine. I was like, really? I'm like making sure that you said this is okay, and he said yes, and I'm like, what?
That's hilarious. There is a an act that I saw at
Boys are
Creature
weird.
Feature Weekend in
Those boys
Gettysburg.
were weird.
It's like the weird like circus sideshow kind of thing. They did thing. At the very end, they said you can give money as long
I've
as you
seen that
staple
act.
it. You have?
It's either other people doing the act or we probably saw the same people. We'll talk after the show who
but
they
it's
are.
like you can put dollar bills on the arm. Certain money you can put, and I think if you had a 50, you could put it anywhere you wanted.
Oh no, I saw
certain money.
those chicks getting stapled.
Yeah,
50s,
everywhere. There was him and his assistant. You could pick whoever you wanted.
Oh, it's guys?
There was a guy. It was mainly a guy who
Oh.
did it, and then his assistant also. And you can.
I
if
knew
you
like
had
a
50,
couple
you could
girls
something
in one
like
show who did it. Yeah. They also did the thing where they climbed.
Ha!
There's one in that same show. They did the thing where they made like a step ladder full of machetes, and she walked on the machetes. It was like a whole thing. It was a weird show.
that. I'm like so fascinated by that.
I'm not. Anyway, the family goes outside to see what Clark did with all the lights, and none of them are lighting
Yeah,
up.
it doesn't work.
Nothing.
He's very upset about
He's
that.
so sad.
And by the way, his in-laws are real dicks to him. They're like, oh, that really sucks. It's a waste
really
of
are,
time.
yeah.
He's like, I want you to look at what a waste of time this was.
You're so mean.
And I like that no one wants to help him fix it. He's like, well, Russ, maybe we can get. He's like, oh, Dad, I gotta go. I gotta
What
go.
was it? Oh, drum roll, please. And you
Yeah.
see the in-law, the mother-in-law. I always think of her as Everyone Loves Raymond. Like that is the show I know.
Oh,
her
yeah, that's
from.
right. That's the show she's on.
That
yeah.
is the show. And I also fall asleep to that show half the time. She has her martini glass. She goes,
Okay,
she's great.
so Russ's bedroom where his grandparents are staying. I get the sexy lady on the roof. Why does he have a poster of tortoises or turtles having sex? Thought that was a little bizarre. Thought it was a little bizarre.
Teenage boys.
The next day, Clark is hiding presents in the attic. That's where he finds the Mother's Day card. He's like,
Little fact there, he pulls out, well, I think it's a little bit later because happens over a few scenes of him being stuck in the
yes.
attic.
Yeah, he's stuck in the attic for a little bit.
There is a part he pulls out a movie reel called Christmas 59.
Christmas 58 or 59. 58.
Do you know what that is?
What?
So the writer, which we have to acknowledge the writer, John Hughes, who
also wrote Home Alone, right?
I don't know if he wrote Home
Yeah.
Alone.
Yeah, he wrote Home Alone.
Written and produced.
Yeah.
He wrote Planes, Trains, Automobiles,
Yep.
Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller, Weird Science.
101 Dalmatians.
That's a weird one.
There you go. So he's actually the one, he used to write for Harvard Lampoon before it went to
National.
National
Yeah.
Lampoon. And when he wrote, I think it was for Harvard Lampoon, he wrote a short story called Christmas 59. And that's what this movie is actually based off of. And I actually went through it and quickly read it because it is kind of long and I didn't feel like sitting there reading the whole thing. But it's almost things from his memory.
Okay.
And where you see the squirrel, they actually had that in his 59 version where it was actually a bird. And then let
Okay.
the bird go out and stuff like that. So there's little parts of his original short story
That's funny.
that was taken and he put into
I forgot this was John Hughes.
This is a John Hughes movie. That's why it's so good. It's so memorable. It's classic. Even though the director,
Yeah.
it's like his first main thing. I think you really, for a good movie, least have a balance,
Yeah.
you know, of a really good writer, and you can have or a really good director with a novice writer. Have someone that's really good at their art.
It was weird. So when he's up there, well, one, he grabs any clothes that he can find. He's just wearing women's clothes.
The head thing.
He sets up the projector and he's watching old Christmas stuff that reminds him of his youth, which is why he wants to have this old.
One single tear.
Yeah, he wants to have the old-fashioned family Christmas. But I love in like the flashback, William H. Macy is still the same age.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's just been old forever. But it was weird they put Diane Ladd in the wig and they just didn't get Laura Dern to play the young version of her. So that was really, really nice. And I like when Ellen comes home, just knocks him down the thing. That was pretty
Yeah,
funny.
because he set up his little seat and, like,
on the door.
On the door.
Why would you do that?
Because he's an
Did
idiot.
you guys have those attics?
No.
No.
I did, and it was right above. So growing up, if you went up to the second floor, it was literally right there at the top of the steps. So if you slipped at all, you'd be going down the attic stairs and I almost died so many times.
I'm happy I did not have an attic.
It was, I swear, my entire family thinks our house was haunted because a bus driver actually told my brother at one point that someone hung themselves on a tree that used to be out front. And I remember this tree because it was there when I was younger. And then we cut it down. My brother wasn't alive for that. And he's like, what? So we think it's all haunted. And the attic freaks us the fuck out. But that's where we kept all of our holiday decorations. You can't sit on those things. You would fall.
Yeah.
If I sat on that, I would fall and
I have
die.
good news for you.
Okay.
Your house wasn't haunted because ghosts don't exist. Anyway. So Clark,
he pulls out and yes, he falls through the attic.
yes, and Clark is still working on the lights. It turns out there's a switch in the garage that he doesn't know about.
That everything's plugged.
Yeah. So he has the power strip outside, and then he has. It's supposed to be like the worst thing in the world. Like, you should not plug that many things.
No, that's fire hazard.
Yes.
That freaks me out so fucking much, especially like looking at the year it was made. I'm just like, haha, fire. I'm always petrified of things being plugged in and causing fires.
I like when so Diane Ladd turns it on on accident. She doesn't realize. So that turns all the lights on. And I have a weird outlet in my garage that you have to turn a light on by the front door to turn that one outlet on. It's weird the way it was wired. I don't know.
A lot of bedrooms have that too, where you turn on the switch. There's no actual light, but it turns on like lamps.
Yeah. When she does that, it starts sucking the power from the entire town. And it goes to like the power plant. They do auxiliary nuclear power. And I like that it just blinds Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yes.
But then it turns
those neighbors so fucking much throughout this movie because they're so fucking snobby.
Actually, no, Johanna felt bad for them.
Oh, I don't. I think it's because I know people like that in real life and I hate them.
The Griswolds were kind of assholes.
I was kind of sad. When we were watching it, I was like, we should have went to Five Below and got those silver tracksuits, the sweat tracksuits.
Yeah.
So everyone goes outside to see the lights, and the lights are off.
They're not twinkling.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, they're off. They're off at that point. And that's when Clark freaks out and starts punching the Santa and stuff. Which is a setup for later, because they eventually move toward the street where the storm drain is. But in there, did you want to say something?
During that scene when he punches the Santa, he actually broke his finger.
So he's like Viggo Mortensen in Lord of the Rings. He's just hurting himself.
The two towers.
They kept it. So he punches it, and
the two towers.
And they kept rolling. They kept it in.
Did you ever see Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers?
And he kicks the helmet.
When he kicks the helmet, he breaks his toe.
That actually happens a lot. Like in Evil Dead, it happens. Where
everyone's getting hurt in Evil Dead.
Hurt in Evil Dead. But there's so many movies where they actually get hurt and they just keep it and they're like, it's great. It's realistic.
I like the Viggo Mortensen thing because he broke his toe and he screamed. But then in the movie,
but he still acted. Like, he was just like, oh, it's still rolling, so I'm gonna go with this. And then that's when he dropped down and he was just like,
because I can't stand.
It's gonna hurt. Like I'm surprised. Like, I've never broken a. I think I've broken a toe before, but like if you break a toe, there's nothing you can do.
I've never broken a bone.
Good for you. Yeah, I think my toe is the only thing I broke.
Or gotten stitches.
I've had stitches.
I don't have stitches.
I've never broken a bone. I pulled a muscle in my goddamn neck.
Nothing.
Pulling a muscle. I do that like every day.
Yeah.
No, I did it as like a kid, and like I did it in like 5th grade. It was bad. I was in a neck brace and stuff. Like my arm got stuck. And then in high school, like the pain of it came back because it moved a muscle like below my collarbone, which they say like I remember the doctor being like, yeah, so these muscles naturally just relax and move there when you're elderly. So whatever you did, and I had to go to like physical therapy to like get the muscle back to where it was. It was like a whole thing.
No,
but no, I never broke a bone.
No, I have fucked up knees. I
I was
have
gonna say you're like I fucked. I'm like, all right, well, look, this is a family show. I don't know what this has to do with anything.
No, I have loose kneecaps and a cyst under each knee.
Okay.
So my kneecap when I was
Fuck, Crystal.
I have a lot of things wrong with me. In middle school, a lot of times my kneecap would actually just come out of place, and I would just fall, and my friends would laugh at me, and I'm like, no, my kneecap, I have to put it. It was the worst pain. I was in tennis, and I was in a wheelchair for a while because my knees just got so bad I couldn't walk. Here, ready?
No.
No.
You can feel it.
I'm good.
You can feel.
I trust and love you, and yeah.
You can feel the cartilage all move in my knee. You can feel it pop in both of them.
I'm good.
You sure?
Yep.
It's not that gross.
No, thank you.
You can feel it just all pop
stop.
and move. If
It's
quiet,
not
you can
that
feel
You
it.
touch it.
I don't want to touch Crystal. But if it was anyone else,
He's a piece of
I mean,
shit.
not you. If it was anyone else in this room right now. Oh no. Anyway, where are we at here?
You're an asshole.
So yeah, the lights finally turn on. And he thinks it's beautiful, and he's having an emotional moment with his parents.
Is he crying? And
He's
like
crying,
in love.
and he's just like, oh. And then he goes to the dad. He's like, all right, and he just goes, the little lights aren't twinkling.
They're supposed to be twinkling.
You see that moment where he's like, yeah, they are. He just like tries to ignore it because he's so happy, and he's just going on and on and on, and eventually he gets to Cousin Eddie. He's just like, he's like, Eddie? Like he had no idea he was gonna be there.
I love Cousin Eddie. For someone that has no money, made it out there for the he's such a good character.
Do you like modern day Randy Quaid? Do you like modern crazy Randy Quaid? How's Randy Quaid doing? I haven't caught up on. I haven't been up to date on his stuff.
I don't know.
I know he had that very public meltdown after a while. But yeah, Cousin
Doesn't he
Eddie
have a
shows
hot brother?
Does he?
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think. What has he been in?
Dennis Quaid.
What does he look like? Yeah.
Hot?
I'm the worst with names,
He's
guys.
in Enemy Mine. He's in Jaws 3. I'm sure he's in
Parent Trap.
The Parent. He's actually in
Which Parent
big
Trap?
popular movies
The
that
one
I
you
can't
love
think
that
of right now.
I loved that movie.
Conveniently, I'm thinking of all his like dumb, lesser known movies.
That's his brother.
Right? He's so sexy, and then you look at Randy and you're like, ooh.
Hey, Daddy, what's up?
Right? Like, even
It's
like
either
older,
a
like-
brother or cousin. I forget which one it is. I
Oh,
think it's
brother, cousin. I'll take it. Either way.
brother cousin.
Yeah, so he brought the RV with his kids, not the older kids from the previous movie. They come
No.
back in Vegas vacation, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, and his dog Snots. They called him that
baby.
because it had a sinus issue. I used to have a cat with a sinus issue, and I don't anymore. I lost it in the breakup. Anyway, yes.
The divorce. That's exactly. What
I,
else did you lose in the divorce?
his dignity. If he
Ro-
had it.
Yeah.
The Roku Smart TV, but I can live without that. I'm sure there's more things.
All
Anyway,
right, so all the ladies out there, all the .0002 ladies. that's
No, I'm
watching.
MGTOW.
Huh?
I'm MGTOW. Men go their own way. I don't
Anyway,
want
the
I don't
little
want to. I don't
girl-
want to be
He's now
associated with women in
asexual.
any way, shape, or
The
form.
little
He's
girl.
asexual now.
Yes.
the daughter of Randy Quaid's character, Cousin Eddie, she's actually the daughter in Fatal Attraction. The little girl
Okay.
that Glenn Close ends up like kidnapping for a little
I
bit.
have not seen that in
I
a
was looking at it, I'm
very long
Why does she
time.
look so familiar? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, okay. She didn't have long hair at that time. She had that
Yeah.
little like pixie cut.
Fucking, I love how much Clark hates Eddie when they're like drinking out of the Wally World moose
Yeah.
cups.
I want one of those cups so
Yeah.
bad.
I love it. Fucking Eddie's walking around and he sees that spinning thing and he touches it, just breaks. And it's like great. Like Clark's trying to fix it.
Eddie.
just,
hate him.
just the disdain that Clark has on his face for Eddie is so funny. Because we've all had that one relative, maybe not who doesn't act like Eddie, but we have that one relative where you're like, oh God, you came to the party. And I'm sure I've been that relative to other people.
You
but
are.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think I'm that relative, to be honest.
I hope I'm that relative because I hate my family.
But also, I think, this is I forget, he says something. Oh, he's talking about the RV outside. And he's like, oh, thanks for letting us stay in here for another month. And he just like spits out the eggnog. But the next scene is really funny. They bring, Clark brings a present for his boss. And he's like, put it there by the other ones. Yeah. And you could tell everyone in the company got him the same exact present.
Because they're all wrapped the same way.
Yeah.
I want to know what that present was. I really do.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
So curious.
But then the next day, Clark uses a new chemical his company is making on his sled. Some kind of like kitchen oil thing. Yeah. And then Cousin Eddie goes on a rant about his skull. He's just like, I had the medical school and then they changed it to the plastic. And like the whole time Clark's trying to like ignore him.
It's
where are we at here? Hold on.
The sled scene.
Sled scene.
Yes.
Gotta go to the sled scene.
So he
Later, dudes. Let her rip, Hank Penn.
he's about to go sledding and he blasts off at light speed and explodes. It's like this
how did he die?
This is my grandfather, this was his favorite. Like he died laughing every single time this happened.
It is really good.
And I love the callback later on where you find the sled and it's completely shredded. Where does he ends up at a Walmart, right? He goes like through the hills, through the street, and I think he ends up at like a store.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Bingo.
Later that night, Clark is fantasizing about his pool.
He is. What else is he fantasizing about?
Cousin Eddie. Who then?
I'm surprised I didn't show him drowning.
Yeah, Cousin Eddie ruins his fantasies, and then he dreams about the store girl getting naked. But then his stupid niece interrupts.
And then this is sad though.
This is pretty sad because he's like, if you're really good, Santa will come to you and he'll get you toys. And she's like, she says like Santa gives us the shaft every year. We didn't do anything wrong.
What did she say? Shit and bricks or something?
Yeah,
like
she's
that?
like, shit and bricks. He's like, you shouldn't use that language. She's like, sorry, shitting rocks. But yeah, she says we didn't do anything wrong. Santa gives us the shaft. So he tries to encourage her. He's like, don't worry, Santa's gonna come this year.
That's what's always so weird about Christmas is that a lot of people are what they're trying to get in the habit of if they put, because I don't know if you guys had it growing up where like some presents said from Santa and some of them said from mom and dad.
Yeah.
And they say like put the more expensive gifts from mom and dad or whoever and have the least expensive from Santa so people don't be like, the kids come in and be like, my Santa got me an Xbox. And the kid's like,
oh, if I had kids, they're not knowing who Santa is.
So
I'm going to be like, that's a lie.
Yeah, the only reason that I'm like not telling my nephews that Santa's not real is because my family wants to keep like the magic, which whatever. I was devastated when I found out like all this shit was a lie.
When did you find out?
She's like last week. It was really hard.
Yeah, I
remember when I found
maybe
out.
like 5th, 6th grade.
Really? That's late. That's a little late.
That's that late.
Oh no, I figured it out earlier, but like for my parents and my little sister, I kind of like went along with it.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
So here's the thing. So I already knew like the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny weren't real, and I was in the car with my parents, and I was just like,
Easter Bunny was the first one where I was like, you know what? I think that's bullshit.
Yeah. And I was just talking with them or whatever, and I was like, first like the Easter Bunny, then the Tooth Fairy. What's next, Santa? And they both looked at each other in a panic, and I literally went, oh, no.
So
I shit you not. Like,
oh my God.
Well, I'm the oldest of 5, so my mom actually she's phenomenal at holidays and keeping like that magic alive, especially for the kids, because I think it was just such a fun thing for her. Like for the Easter Bunny, she would actually, I don't know how, but she would grab like rabbit hair or something and put, cause we left carrots and something else for the Easter Bunny.
Did she kill a rabbit?
I don't know.
She just guts a rabbit.
There was like bunny hair on the plate and stuff like that. And we're like, oh my God. And we put out like reindeer dust and stuff like that. And like there was always little things.
Wait, what the fuck's a reindeer dust?
Yeah,
Oh, it's oatmeal and glitter. That way.
No, but what is it supposed to be? Like from the reindeer?
So the reindeers. It's so the reindeers know where your house is.
oh, I just
So that way they saw the glitter in the night sky.
I
the
just
moon
left
reflecting.
out cookies and carrots. Cookies for Santa, carrots for the reindeer.
I never did carrots for the reindeer. We did reindeer dust. That's a thing. Yeah, where you sprinkle it on the lawn so the reindeers know to come to your house, and it's the glitter that attracts and they eat the oats. But yeah, how I found out was I was an insomniac ever since I was like born. I could never sleep, so I would always help my mom with like the bit like going over paperwork when I was like tiny when I probably shouldn't have. Just like helping her whatever she needed in the kitchen. And we always wrote letters to Santa, and I found those letters, and my mom's just like, yeah, Santa's not real. You didn't realize that? I was tiny, and I'm like, oh no.
Oops.
She's like, don't tell your brother and sisters. It's like,
yeah, I think I just pieced it together, and I was like, I'll go along with it. It's fine.
Yeah. What I was saying about my nephews, the only reason I just am like whatever is because my family wants to do it, but like when I get them gifts or whatever and they're like, oh, is this from Santa? I'm like, no, this is from me.
Yeah.
I paid for this. I did this for you.
Yeah.
Fuck Santa taking all the credit. I'm the one spending this damn money.
it's so weird like as you're an adult realizing like, oh, what Santa brings versus your adults. I always adopt the family. It's one of my biggest things. I always have to do it every single year. And a couple years ago, it was the saddest realization I ever had in my life. We're going to get like a little sad here. Next to, there's a YMCA in the town that I work in. And I didn't realize YMCA's also had shelters.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I went in there because that's where I adopted a family. I got I always adopt for like the very tiny babies because kids, when you look at some of their lists and you're like, bitch, you're fucking 10, you want an iPhone? I didn't have that shit. I always go for like the tiny kids where they're like, we need clothes and diapers. And I was like, if they're asking for clothes and diapers, they actually do need that. I always have a budget put aside for this. And I'll go and I'll get as much as I can. And I actually had to go deliver it to the people. Holy fuck, is that an eye-opening? Where you go into the shelter and they barely open the door and there's little babies running around in just diapers and no shoes and stuff like that. I sat in my car for probably at least an hour just crying, feeling so guilty about my life, taking things for advantage. Like, this is the shit that I will...
Taking things for granted. You said taking things for advantage. That makes you sound really... That makes you like you're taking advantage of things. I'm like, well, Crystal, do that one again.
For granted, whatever. So... it was just like one of those things where you're just like, holy shit. And you're like, so then you think of it as an adult. You're like, where is Santa giving for these kids?
I think that was like one of the earliest things. Like I thought about it. I'm like, wait, there's people like,
that don't
why
get
does Santa help them out?
Because like think about like when you like go to school, there's obviously people who didn't have as much money.
You know what also really gave it away? I'm like, why would Santa put barcodes and like copyright and trademark on it? Like, I don't understand. I don't think the elves are making those.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a really nice story you told. And the holidays are all about giving and charity. And we should all be giving during the holiday season. If you don't have money, there's other ways you can give. Like subscribing to my channel. You can do that. You can follow on Twitter and Instagram.
Like such a nice story, and it was definitely sad.
And I do, and I hope...
expecting anything
I hope my Christmas wish is for you to get so fucking humbled.
I'll be fine.
That's a miracle. That's a Scrooge thing needing to happen. We need the fucking Ghost of Christmas past, present, and future to help his ass.
We need to do a skit, but you don't learn anything.
He doesn't learn anything.
That's what we should do. That's what we should do.
I'm with Scrooge. Aren't there prisons you can put these homeless people in? That was one thing that Scrooge said.
I wasn't even saying homeless. This is a shelter for like battered women or.
I was just thinking of like
and the pandemic.
No, I was thinking that scene.
What's wrong with you?
There was that scene in Christmas. I was trying to be like Scrooge in Christmas Carol, where they're like, "Yes, it's for the shelters." He's like, "Are there no?" But yeah, no. The point I'm trying to make is everyone should be inspired by Crystal to give to those people who need it.
Tony doesn't need anything.
What? Shut up. Anyway, I'm very sad.
Subscribe for us.
I'm very sad.
Subscribe for her. She's such a good person. Fuck this guy. Not in the good way.
He's asexual now. It doesn't matter.
I'm not asexual. That would make my life easier.
Maybe you should have stuck with the 40-year-old virgin.
Unfortunately, I am still into women, but I have to consciously say no, they're not allowed. They blew their chance with Tony.
What you should have done is realize 40-Year-Old Virgin is a great movie, not a horror movie, and your whole life would have been fixed.
Yeah, no. Anyway, where was I at here?
We were talking
Something else,
about the niece.
Oh, yes, the niece. Okay. Yes, the next day, Eddie is emptying the shitter. And he's pouring it into like the storm drain.
I just like how Clark's just like, oh.
Clark's like, that's not even like a sewer. That's a storm drain. That's like it's going to be chemicals and stuff. That's probably not good. And I do like Julia Louis-Dreyfus. They look out. He's like, shitter's full.
Merry Christmas.
It's hilarious.
Merry Christmas! Shitter was full!
The Griswolds agree that they need to give Catherine and Eddie money for presents. Because apparently he's been telling like the kids that Santa wasn't coming or something. And then William H. Macy shows up. Or no, not William H. Macy. Oh my God.
Wow.
I wrote William H. Macy it's William Hickey.
Yeah, it's Hickey.
William H. Macy from Jurassic Park 3.
Speaking of.
William Hickey is in Mouse Hunt.
Yes, he is. I love Mouse Hunt.
It is good.
I love Mouse
It's a
Hunt
good
so
one.
much.
It is good.
Yes, William. I can't believe I wrote William H. Macy. William Hickey shows up with his wife, Bethany, and she wrapped up her cat
And
as.
who is Bethany?
Who is she?
Mae Questel? She is the original voice of Betty Boop.
Oh!
And this is the last movie she was ever in.
Right. Okay, I forgot that. I knew. Now you say that. I'm like, oh yeah, I knew that.
Icon. This is icon right there.
I love that she's like completely senile and she wrapped up her cat. And then she also wrapped up her Jello.
Do you know
With cat food in the Jello.
Yeah.
the cat scene almost got cut out
Really?
because people were thinking that might have been a little too far.
No, it's funny.
It's so
It
they
was-
kept it.
it's-
They were like, it's
So
funny,
Bethany says grace at the table.
He is so.
And she does the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Which is better than the grace at my Thanksgiving this year. Did I tell you about? Oh my God! So my brother-in-law does grace at Thanksgiving this year, and his version of grace is like chatting with Jesus as if he's in the room right now. He's like, "Hey, Jesus, I want to thank you so much for this meal and all of us together and whatnot." And he's like going on, and I just started giggling. And also, I was like this the whole time. So I started giggling, and as he's praying, he's just like, "Jesus, I know you can hear people at this table laughing right now.
But is
I
he
want
like
you to
super Catholic too? Like, is
not
he
Catholic, but Christian.
Christian? All right.
And he's like, I just want you to forgive him, so hopefully we can all be in heaven together. And afterwards, I'm like, Don, are you implying I'm going to hell? And he's like, it's really
help it so.
He's like, I really want us all to be in heaven together. You got to really change your. And then I'm like, when's the last time you guys went to church?
That's the thing. It's always so funny. They're always just be the first one to be like, Marion, it's just like, you don't go to fucking church. I've probably been to church more than you have.
My siblings say I'm not allowed in church or I'll burn up. I swear to God, it's what they've been saying for years.
Oh, I guess I have two sets of notes here. Anyway, so they go to cut the turkey that Catherine made. And it smells so nice.
And
They-
it looks nice. It's
They
looking
stab
bird.
it once and it just explodes because it's so dry. What did she do? She put it in too early and I
Yeah.
guess left it in too long, or
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably didn't baste it at all.
Do you guys
Yeah.
have turkey? I always find it weird when we have turkey for Christmas because it's like we just had turkey less than a month ago.
once in a while, not every Christmas. You know what's weird? I have the Italian family. We don't do the seven
So
fish
what do
thing.
you actually do? You do the fish?
I love the 7 fishes. But
Yeah,
that's
that's
on
what-
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
I wish we.
I'm
did
annoyed
that.
they call it fishes. It's like, all right, come on.
A lot of it's not fish.
I tell my
Yeah,
dad all
because
the
some
time.
of it's crab.
I tell my dad all the time. No, because fishes isn't the plural fish. It's just fish.
fish. Oh,
And I'm like, Dad, you've been in
He's
America
worried about
how
the
long?
grammar.
Fucking say it right. Say it right.
Yeah,
And I
but
yell at
everybody
my dad.
calls it fishes.
And then I tell him to go back to Italy. I do that all the time. No, I'm kidding.
well, speaking of Italian, my mom actually asked me this year because she loves doing prime rib and stuff like that.
That's what we do.
My mom's like, so like, do you care if we just have like meatballs and spaghetti? And I'm like, I don't care. Let's do it. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, so the turkey's too dry. And I like just the scene of the camera going around and they're just crunching it. Like
It's so hard.
and then the cat like
I
shit in
love-
the
I
jello
love
or
the mom-
something.
No, there's cat food in it.
Oh, right.
I like the mom, and it's on her fork, and she goes,
Oh wait, the cat later scene is the one they were going to cut out.
Oh, with
Not
the
this one,
electricity.
not the
Yeah.
rat. That's the one they were gonna cut out.
Actually, that's the next scene. The cat is eating
Yeah.
the lights and it pulls it out of the tree.
That's the one they were gonna cut. Sorry. That's the one they were gonna cut
Clark
out.
plugs it back in as the cat's eating and just electrocutes the shit out of it.
The cat evaporates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, we get another foreshadowing when they're throwing the chair out, which Eddie wants to repurpose. He could smell the fumes. He's like, smells like gas. So they're building up to it. And again, a nice setup and payoff. I like that so fuck Justin. It's just not a series of skits. Like Johanna said,
A lot of setups.
there is an there's an overarching story, but also there's setups from earlier in the movie that pay off later.
So the whole
So I am correct.
Yes.
Per usual.
Again, I don't want to come up with crazy rumors or conspiracy theories, but I think it's very curious that Justin Silverman doesn't like a Christmas movie. I'm just saying.
you just go with the fuck Justin Silverman.
Yes.
I think that's the moral.
Anyway,
Hashtag fuck Justin
so
Silverman.
we've set it up. There are gases in the sewer that are flammable. The fucking reindeer are next to the sewer that is or the storm drain that is flammable, so it'll pay off later. So William H. Macy. All my notes say William H. So I must have did William, and then I went to do Hickey, and then my mind just went H. Macy. You know what it is? It's because we have that big ass Jurassic Park 3 banner in the other room, and my mind's just always on William H. Macy.
Oh my God.
I love Jurassic Park 3.
Dumb.
He lights the tree on fire and then himself, which I thought was pretty good. So finally, he gets his envelope from the delivery guy who breaks their door.
Wait, did we miss the squirrel scene?
No, that's coming up. That's coming up. That's coming up.
No, my favorite with this delivery scene is the dude was like, "Oh yeah, I was supposed to deliver it yesterday, but it fell between my seats."
Yeah, he's like, "Sorry about that."
Yeah, that's right.
So he thinks he's getting his bonus.
And he brings everyone in the room. He's like, everyone.
Yes.
He's like, I'm putting in a pool. I will fly you guys out for
if there's money left over.
If there's money left over.
And I love everyone's so excited. He's talking about all this. And at one point, it's my favorite moment where Cousin Eddie goes, "I can't swim." And he goes, "Yeah, I know that." Like he purposely made something that Eddie couldn't enjoy.
Poor Eddie.
So he opens up the check. And it's not a bonus. It's a subscription to the Jelly of the Month Club, which Eddie says, this is my second favorite joke. This is probably my favorite Eddie thing of all time, where he goes, "That's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year." Because it's absolutely like Clark still, why it's so funny. I'm going to explain comedy to you guys. Why it's so funny, because it's like Clark still hasn't really, I'm going to mansplain to you. And maybe you guys will woman understand. Anyway. Clark,
this water
so Clark hasn't fully grasped like what happened. He's like it's so new. He hasn't really gone through the stages of grief yet. And right away, you're just fucking Eddie's like, "Well, I know how to turn this around." It's like, give it a minute. God damn it. God, it's so fucking funny. He has a mental breakdown. And he screams about his boss and says that for Christmas, he wants his boss there in a red bow that he can yell at. It's fucking hilarious. Which right after this, Cousin Eddie takes off in the RV. Oh, where we at here? Okay, so he cuts down another tree out of spite.
Wait, is that the scene where he's like gives him a whole bunch of like he curses him out? No, wait, it's the last scene I think I'm thinking of.
But he curses here. He's like, "Here's what I would say to him," and he does the whole
just goes on
Okay,
and
so
on and on.
So that is it. So I think this is the scene where all the actors actually had signs in front of them, and it actually had different insults for the boss. You can't tell the way it's shot, but that way Chevy Chase could pick out different. You could see him reading it.
Heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is!
That's really funny.
That's
actually.
funny.
You watch the eyes, you can see him reading it because each person had different insults across their chest. They had.
Did you ever see that picture from The Godfather? Because Marlon Brando just never memorized lines. He would always read them. And there's a behind-the-scenes picture of The Godfather. Like in the scene, it's like their backs facing the camera. It's just a guy just wearing the script, and it's like Marlon's just reading it off of him.
Yeah. It was either that scene or the other scene.
So I love when he cuts the tree down. And
they're just enjoying like margaritas with some like fruit and cheese.
Yeah, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus is like, "Do you think we should have got a tree? Where are you gonna get one?" Burst through the window. So fucking good. He puts it in his living room, and this is where he gets attacked by a squirrel, which you think everyone was overreacting.
Yeah, they're like, eh! And I'm like, it's a squirrel.
Well, what it was that's actually a more true reaction because they actually trained a squirrel for months. I love this movie. I fucking love this movie. They trained a squirrel for months to do this, a trained squirrel, and the day before they were shooting the scene, it died. So they had to get an untrained squirrel for this scene, and that's true reactions of this. It was an untrained, chaotic squirrel that they shot.
I love the puppet squirrel when it's on the table. It's like, oh my god, it's like the fakest looking squirrel. I love when the squirrel's on Clark and he doesn't know, and they're
all running.
Eventually, Snots burst through the door to chase it, so the whole house is destroyed. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus is like, I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind. She gets attacked by
she
both
says
animals.
Boyfriend or husband or whatever, like that he needs to do it, and then she's like, fine,
I'll go do it. And then she goes and punches the shit out of him.
Yeah.
So Clark's dad tries to like talk him down and relax. He's like, you gotta like relax. He's like, Dad, how did you do it? He's like, I had a little help from Jack Daniels.
This is not sponsored.
No, we literally went out and bought this for the joke. But basically, he's like, look, man, you tried. It didn't turn out the way you wanted it. Just relax. Like, we're all here. Let's just have fun. And then they finally gather around. They're reading The Night Before Christmas. It's a nice little moment.
Yeah, everything's like calmed down.
Yeah, and I love and suddenly he looked out his window and saw my boss in a row with Cousin Eddie.
In the red boat.
So Cousin Eddie does exactly what Clark wanted. And of course he confronts, he talks about the boat. He's like, I didn't give up bonus this year. And he's like, yeah, we know. So, he's faced with the people he screwed over and he decides to change his ways. But at the same time, the guy's wife is calling the police. I was like, he's a large, like, boorish man in a leisure suit. He was in a blue leisure suit. So fucking SWAT comes in to attack them. And they even attack Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's like, you're going to have to kick down the door. And the cops just burst down the door. So yeah, like the whole house was destroyed. I didn't notice this until you said it when they tell them to freeze.
Oh, don't tell me you didn't realize.
I didn't. Maybe before. It's been a while since I've seen this, but like it didn't hit me right away until you pointed it out. She woman-splained the joke that was happening. But yeah, so when they freeze, Ellen's like hand is on Clark's crotch.
That was improv. Yeah. That was fucking improv. She just did that in the moment.
Yeah. So they're all frozen. So I love that they're all frozen and then like
takes the hand, puts it right back.
No, yeah. When the wife says hi, she's like she puts her
It's so funny.
I love even the wife chews him out. She's like, you did not do that. He's like, sorry. But yeah, so William H. Macy, he throws a cigar into the storm drain and finally there's an explosion. Yeah, William Hickey. Finally, there's an explosion which sends the Santa and the reindeer into the sky.
That's my favorite part. Yeah. It's so ridiculous.
Shoots it into the sky. Everyone is so filled with the Christmas spirit that Bethany starts singing the Star Spangled Banner.
The rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
They all start. And Eddie's like this. Everybody else is.
Oh wait, I forgot another great Eddie moment when she was doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Eddie like gets up and starts doing it. No one else does. Yeah, and then everyone just goes inside, and Clark. It just ends with Clark looking out with Snots.
They're just looking at each other.
Yeah, he's like, all right.
But then he finally pets the doggo.
Yeah.
The doggo is just super happy, and it's super cute.
Yes, it made me sad. It reminded me of both Rottweilers I had growing up. I mentioned in another episode we had Reggie. His brain didn't work good.
Yeah.
Yeah, his brain didn't work, and he was getting weird, and my mom was like, I'm pregnant. We're getting rid of Reggie. Like, Reggie's going bye-bye now.
I picked Reggie. Wait, over you or your sister? It was, I'm guessing.
Well, but I was also pretty young. He, like, growled at me. He was like, something happened. I gotta ask my mom what happened.
Sometimes that happens when dogs get older, too.
It wasn't even old. He had something. I gotta ask what it was.
Like a neurological.
I mentioned this.
Neurological thing.
Yeah, I mentioned this in the Toy Story 2 review, but that didn't get a lot of views. So I'll bring it up. Yeah, I had a dog who was like starting to lose it. getting like real weird, but he like growled at me, and like my mom was pregnant, and I was like, this is a no. So they put him to sleep. And then we had Max for years, and Max was great.
I would absolutely keep the dog over you.
You would have a dog that was possibly going to die anyway in a few months. Wow,
yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
This is Crystal's last episode.
Every episode I get threatened.
Yeah, I really do.
You're on thin ice. You're on thin ice.
No, you're not.
I will kick you both to the curb. And this is be me and the mint salad.
You're being threatened now.
It'll be the dream team is me and mint salad.
No.
Yeah.
We get kicked to the curb. Johanna, myself, Mint. I'm gonna fucking recruit Trish.
Kira.
Kira.
Whoa.
Doing your own goddamn shit. Yeah. Not only do we have the original 4 Ghostbusters 2016 review, we're adding Trish to it.
Wow.
Stay
Fuck
pumped.
yourself.
Stay pumped. Marshall,
Who doesn't know how to tie her?
You know what? She's beautiful, and we have her. So go fuck yourself.
Look,
Yeah, enjoy your channel by yourself.
So you're gonna leave my channel and then start your own show on another channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would ever do that? Who would do such a thing? I guess you'll just bring in your ragtag group of friends too, and make them the stars who the fame gets to their head like you two, and then you're gonna kick them off, and they're gonna start their show, and the cycle just continues. So Christmas vacation
podcast.
So Christmas Vacation. What a fun movie. It's still fun.
So good.
It's fun and fine. Fine and fun. We made those shirts. We made fun and fine and fun shirts.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a classic, and it's enjoyable if you've ever celebrated. I do like that it really shows like how miserable the holidays can be.
Yeah. Especially with family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's realistic. It's almost realistic. Besides the comedy aspect of it, it's something. I think that's why it's such a good classic. Is it's so goddamn relatable.
Yeah. In a movie where there's auxiliary nuclear power because there's too many Christmas lights, it is very relatable.
I love that.
No, it's a really, really great time, and people will continue to enjoy it for generations. It has that timeless feel to it.
Yeah, it doesn't like it. Obviously, is like dated, but it doesn't really feel as dated.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Because there's not a lot of like actual like 80s like stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the mall, it looks like any type of like you go into a
even
Macy's
the Walmart kind of just looks like a Walmart now.
I forgot about the scene where he just keeps adding dog food.
We forgot about that. Okay, yeah. So they agree to help Eddie out, and he's like, "Hey, Eddie, we want to help you out because you're family. If there's anything we do," it's like, "Oh, well, thanks, Clark." So he gives him a list, like he knew about it ahead of time, and he gives him the
like,
list.
Even as they're walking, like we have the shopping cart, and they keep just adding dog food, and it's different types of dog.
I think Clark put something for himself, and then Eddie just throws a bag over it.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it was really, really good. I hope it got you all in the Christmas spirit, the giving spirit, and as always, give to the people who need it most. Famous YouTubers like me, I feel like we're the most needy, and again, even if it's not money for Patreon, although that's preferred, just a subscriber will work. Just subscribe.
So sorry.
Just subscribe because it makes me happy. And really, how do you expect to have a good Christmas if I'm not having a good Christmas because I don't have enough subscribers, right? Johanna's going to be wrecked. She's going to look at the subscriber growth, so like, that's not what Tony wanted. And then she's going to cry in front of her tree. That's real. Dying slowly because it's a living thing.
First Christmas in your real house. That's going to be awesome. Yeah.
I even have a spot for my tree and everything already. It's great.
Crystal's going to be sad that I'm sad. She'll buy another animal. She's like, Tony, I got a jellyfish because I was so sad. I'm like, God, Crystal, you got to relax.
Really good pets.
Really?
Yeah. You can like get them and everything.
But it's saltwater.
Yeah, saltwater, and then you have to like
expensive.
And then you have to like feed them like certain times a day with like certain things.
I'd be okay with that.
Temperature
It's
has to be
saltwater
right.
tanks that are really I don't have enough money for a saltwater tank.
No. But no, that is it for us. Thank you to the patrons.
Animal.
Huh?
So now I want another animal.
Thank you to the patrons who picked this episode. We will be doing more polls. I got to think for what category. Should we do like Valentine's Day movie? Like not so much a movie that takes place on Valentine's Day,
like a
but
romantic.
Yeah, I guess so.
Ugh,
We do a romance movie.
See, I hate Christmas. I hate.
We did
Valentine's
Titanic.
Day
Titanic
more.
did well.
We did do Titanic, yes. Yeah, we'll figure that out. So consider being a patron. Make sure to
Could it be
subscribe.
like no, because we gotta do like My Bloody Valentine for Valentine. Like
I saw that in 3D
need,
on Valentine's
I
Day.
did too.
We still
I
have
need the
it?
hard like Valentine. I hate
Oh,
Valentine's Day. I hate it so fucking much.
What are you looking for?
The My Bloody Valentine 3D glasses. I don't know.
They're over there.
Oh, okay. They're over there.
Yeah.
Yes. So maybe we'll do that and keep watching the channel this week. This comes out the
Keep watching,
13th.
guys.
We will be doing more Christmas movies, but this was like the big one we wanted to do for you guys.
I want to do the Muppet Christmas card.
And
Oh my God,
well, tell our patrons they didn't vote for the right one.
I know this is such.
Me and Crystal
such
can do
a
this. It's the best Christmas
So-
Carol ever made.
I think we should just.
No, because I did an episode on Best Scrooge movie, and I picked the one with George C. Scott.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the best one.
Care.
Okay.
Maybe we'll just do. All right, sign up for Patreon, and maybe we'll do our hot titty toddies, and we'll do
Hot titty toddies.
and we'll do the Muppet Christmas Carol.
And there's one last thing. There's one last thing I want to say. And I know our audience is expecting me to say this, end of the year. They want to like, Tony, do you have something you need to tell us? And I'm going to finally tell people. Forgive your father this Christmas, whether they're living or dead. Whether they're right or wrong, just forgive them and you will find happiness. Happy holidays. Like, share, and subscribe.
Merry
Just going to
Christmas.
drink it
Happy
right.
holidays.
Drink it right from the bottle.
Okay.
All right, goodbye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.
Talking about tapes.